Which float movements have a high hookup rate? Different fish species have distinct feeding behaviors, resulting in varied float movements. Many anglers can roughly guess which fish is biting based on these movements, a result of understanding fish feeding habits. Another way to identify the fish is through their bubble trails. Different feeding actions produce unique bubble patterns. When targeting specific fish, which float movements yield the highest hookup rates? And for which fish should you delay striking? 1. For Crucian carp, target the rising float. Crucian carp are the most common fish, with the most complex feeding behaviors and diverse float movements. Their feeding follows 3 steps. Testing: they nudge the bait, causing small, quick float taps. Sucking: they open their mouths to suck the bait in, creating a sharp downward tap on the float. Rising: after swallowing, they lift their heads to swim to a less crowded spot, sharing the tackle's weight with the float, causing the float to rise, increase in visible segments. Focus on the rising float for Crucian carp, as this guarantees the hook is in their mouth. You can afford to delay striking slightly. While taps work, they're often too brief to catch. Adjust for seasons. In winter, Crucian carp are less active and rarely lift their heads. Prioritize taps, or even frequent up-down jiggles or side-to-side movements. Winter fish are stiff, so delay longer. They take longer to eat and spit the bait. 2. For carp, target the submerged float. Carp produce the most exciting float movements, short, powerful jolts that signal a large fish. With downward-facing mouths, carp root through mud to find food. They test the bait first, causing small taps. Don't strike yet. When satisfied, they swallow the bait and swim forward with their heads down, almost always submerging the float, black float. Delay striking slightly for wild, cautious carp. Count 1, 2 after the float submerges to boost hookup rates. Confirm carp activity via their bubble trails. Long strings of bubbles, like a bulldozer moving through mud, reveal their path. 3. For silver carp / bighead carp, target the sharp tap. A submerged float and a sharp tap differ only in magnitude. One is extreme, the other subtle. Silver and bighead carp feed unlike any other fish. Their behavior resembles that of blue whales or whale sharks, opening their mouths to filter food, krill, plankton, from water, using baleen-like structures, gill rakers, to trap prey. These carp aren't biting the bait, they inhale hooks while filtering suspended particles, algae, pollen, plankton. Despite their size, their feeding rarely causes large float movements, especially since their bait dissolves quickly, altering float depth. Focus on small, sharp taps, as well as sudden accelerations or pauses. Strike promptly. Hooks often enter and exit their mouths, and bait dissolves fast. Delaying means losing your chance. 4. For grass carp, target the slanting float. Grass carp feeding resembles carp behavior but differs slightly, adapting to their food sources. With dough bait on the bottom, they often submerge the float, black float, though the cause differs from carp. In natural waters, grass carp eat plants, aquatic weeds, reeds. By pulling and tearing them, they lack teeth. This tugging creates a black float with dough bait. When fishing with floating grass bait, grass carp often cause the float to slant as they yank the bait upward. Ensure the hook sits below the bait. Grass carp rise to feed, so a well-placed hook gets swallowed in one bite. Avoid missed hooks after prolonged tugging. Delay striking slightly when float fishing for grass carp. Weight the hook by wrapping fuse wire around the shank or using homemade weighted hooks. Stay tuned, save, and like for daily updates. Thank you, anglers. Author profile: I'm a fishing enthusiast and sharing focused content creator. Follow me to exchange tips and chat about all things wild fishing. Like, save, and follow to never miss an update.